Hello my lovelies and welcome to my channel. My name is Moon and today I'm doing a fun bags and books review. What I'm going to do today is look at 6 books from my TBR list, my to be read list. These are 6 novels that I've had in my bookshelf for a while. Actually, one of them is a little more recent, but most of them have been there. And I would like to read aloud the opening line from each of these novels to determine which book I'm going to read next and which is at the bottom of my pile right now. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of fun just looking at the opening lines. This is, I think, a little video that's been going around YouTube. I've seen a few of these, so I thought I would do my own version of this. And while I'm doing that, I have a little eye candy for us. This is my Neverfull GM, my beloved house bag, with this cute little pom-pom attached to it in this caramel color that I absolutely love. And this bag is a mess right now.
Oh my God.
Real. I've stuffed a bunch of things inside of it, but I thought it would keep us company as I talk about these books. So let's dive in, shall we? The first book, this is my most recent acquisition, is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. So I have had this on my TBR list for a while. I haven't owned the book, but I have wanted to read this. And then I just took the plunge and ordered it. It took a while to get to me. And it looks like it is, it's used. You can see someone else's notes in there. But let's take a look-see at the opening sentence or two, and then we'll decide what to do with this. Like most people, I lived for a long time with my mother and father. My father liked to watch the wrestling. My mother liked to wrestle. It didn't matter what. She was in the white corner, and that was that. Okay, I think, it's kind of a nice functional little opening there. I'm not riveted, but I am curious, I suppose. Okay, so I'm just going to put this book over here. I'll rate them afterwards. The next book is by Viet Thanh Nguyen. And it's The Refugees. So I think this might be a collection of short stories, or actually, no, I think it's a novel. No, it's a collection of short stories. Okay, so my bad. But it's been sitting in my TBR list for a while. And let's take a look at the opening sentence. Fame would strike someone, usually the kind that healthy-minded people would not wish upon themselves, such as being kidnapped and kept prisoner for years, suffering humiliation in a sex scandal, or surviving something typically fatal. Ooh, okay. I kind of like the writing of that. It sounds literary. It sounds heady. I don't know if I processed all of that, but it felt deep. So I'm definitely intrigued. Okay, the next one is a paperback mystery, Death by Dumpling. I like this cute little paperback, and it's by Vivian Chien. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Apologies if I'm not. But I've had this for a little bit, and I ordered it online, I don't know, a year or two ago, and it's been sitting in my TBR. So let's look at the opening lines here. You know, in the movies where someone says, "You can't fire me, I quit." Maybe don't do that in real life, unless you don't mind working as a server in your parents' Chinese restaurant for the rest of your life. Okay, I feel like I hear like a definite voice here, and like it's kind of clear to me what's going on. I kind of think the voice of this narrator is kind of fun and cheeky. So, that was cool. And then Lisa C., The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane. This book has been in my TBR for a while and was, I think, a birthday or Christmas gift. I've just wanted to read Lisa C., period. I think I've read one novel by her, but she's prolific, and so I've definitely been wanting to read something by her for a while, because whatever I read was a long time ago. Okay, so let's look at the opening lines here. No coincidence, no story, my Ama recites, and that seems to settle everything, as it usually does, after first brother finishes telling us about the dream he had last night. I don't know how many times my mother has used this praising aphorism during the 10 years I've been on this earth. I also feel as though I've heard versions of First Brother's Dream many times. Okay, again, another like riveting voice, and I kind of find that engaging. I think that's kind of cool. So I do like that, but it is quite a thick novel, right? There's a lot to read there, which can be great. It can be immersive to do that. All right, the next one is called My Plain Jane, and this looks like it's co-authored by 3 folks: Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. So that's cool, like 3 people working together to write a novel. That might be fun to read. This might be YA, and it's a retelling of Jane Eyre. So there's a prologue, and I will just read a few sentences here. You may think you know the story. Oh, heard that one, have you? Well, we say again, you may think you know the story. By all accounts, it's a good one. A penniless orphan young woman becomes a governess in a wealthy household, catches the eye of the rich and stern master, and falls deeply in love. It's all very passionate and swoon-worthy, but before they can be married, a gasp, terrible treachery is revealed. Then there's fire and despair, some aimless wandering, starvation, a little bit of gaslighting, but in the end, the romance works out. The girl, Miss Eyre, gets the guy, Miss Rochester. They live happily ever after, which means everybody's happy, right? No, we have a different tale to tell. Okay, I'm intrigued. I love the book Jane Eyre, and so I'm kind of curious to see what their riff would be in this version. So I went a little longer there to get at what's unique about their book. And then finally, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, which is also a TV series. I've actually seen an episode of the TV series, but I haven't had a chance to read this yet. So let's take a look at the opening line. It looks like there's like a senior capstone project proposal. I'm going to skip over that, and let's go to chapter 1. Pip knew where they lived. Everyone in Fairview knew where they lived. Their home was like the town's own haunted house. People's footsteps quickened as they walked by, and their words strangled and died in their throats. Shrieking children would gather on their walk home from school, daring one another to run up and touch the front gate. Okay, that's cool. I think that's, the images are there, the tone is there, it's a mystery. And I have a little context because I've seen a little bit of the TV series. Okay, so what I'm going to say is that all of these really kind of intrigued me in one way or another. I thought that there would definitely be a couple of duds. So I would like to affirm, I'm glad I have these books in my TBR. Now I just need to read them, right? I think one of the reasons I haven't is because I've been reading my Kindle a lot more. And so, I would like to definitely do some paper books as well, because it's so nice, the tactile. I like to have at least one paper book going while I'm reading other things on my Kindle. So I'm going to start with what I feel is at my bottom right now, and then I will pick my next book that I'm going to read from my TBR. Okay, so my bottom right now is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. I just think that I do definitely want to read this, but I have to be in the right mood, and the opening didn't capture me yet. So I'm definitely down to read it at some point, but this one I'm going to put aside as not being the one. And so I think also The Refugees, I don't feel like reading short stories right now. So I'm going to put that aside, even though I did find the opening to be kind of literary. So with the 4 books left, okay, these right here, I'm kind of interested in all of them. But I think the one I'm going to go for next is Death by Dumpling. First of all, seems just fun and easy to carry around. And I like the voice. It was a little cheeky. It was a little fun. It is summer right now. So I love a good mystery. And, I'm excited to kind of check this one out. And I think that's where I'm going to go next. So I can't wait to get into this. And when I do read it, I will do a review on it. So I hope you enjoyed my version of the, TBR list books, reading opening lines, and then based on that, figuring out my next read. I'm going to be doing more with my sort of bags and book series. But again, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull GM, never a disappointment, and a great bag because even if I had gone for one of the bigger books, it would easily fit inside here, right? So if I'm going to be reading this book, I could definitely fit this into one of my smaller bags. In fact, I think my Dagne Dover Landon Carryall in the extra small gray size is going to be a great companion for this particular book, and that bag is what I might be carrying in the coming weeks. So I can't wait to get into this one, and I hope you enjoyed my review today. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe, and if you made it this far, let me know which of these books would you want to read based on what you heard, just the first line from each of them. Thanks again for watching, and hope to see you in the next one.